Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2, or PF2. I love PF2. And today we're going to be talking about the Seneschal Witch. I love the idea of the Seneschal Witch from War of Immortals. So, the idea of the Seneschal Witch is about your patron disappearing for some reason, and you sort of taking over the role of being a patron, not just for yourself, but for others. But something I love about it is that it focuses on the will and attitude of the caster. You are changing reality to suit yourself instead of serving a patron. It feels much more like a free-form mage, magus, wizard, whatever you want to call it. Somebody who manifests their will, in fact, the spells they get is called Manifest Will, to change reality as you see fit, sort of like being in the Matrix. I love that about this. It's sort of like an awakened caster that we haven't really had before. I guess sorcerers are sort of like that, but it's about their blood, not about how much they see through the veil of reality. Anyway, I love the theme. Before I go into the class archetype, I want to read to you the segment that is on the second page of the 2-page class archetype Seneschal, which, a castle without a king. During this chaotic time of the gods' reign, reasons abound for why true powers of the universe disappear. They could be hiding, snuffed out, or even just taking this opportunity to test the loyalty of their underlings. Sounds like an insecure deity. Anyway. These vacancies create unimaginable opportunities. Even grasping such power temporarily can dramatically change the fortune of those with the strength and will to make it their own. With your patron missing, just such an opportunity lies before you. A cunning witch learns to navigate the process of mastering this power with great discretion. You have no sign as to whether your patron is truly gone or merely testing your loyalty. Yet, successfully surviving this process may allow you to ascend to heights of power that few witches attain. Yeah, I love the independence of this. Okay. Seneschal class archetype. Whether dead or simply missing, your patron has gone silent, and you can no longer hear its whisper. While other witches might find this silence disquieting and lose hope without direction, you embrace this new challenge. Without a governor, you can now realize the true potential of your magic by tapping into the connection you once shared with your absent patron. You are no longer bound by your patron's desires. You are free to forge your own path. It gets additional feats. They're all from Cleric. I'll mention them later. So at first level, you become a Seneschal. The class archetypes replace a lot of your normal class features. So this is how it changes the witch for the Seneschal witch. Your witch patron has gone mysteriously silent. You still have access to your abilities, and your familiar is still funneling your patron's power to you. As you learn how to tap into that power, you influence your familiar to mold the power by itself, continuing to learn new spells and provide you with other witch class features. Without your patron watching over your power, you gain more control but also miss important lessons. You must select Seneschal Witch Dedication as your second level class feat. Prerequisites: you must be a witch who has lost contact with your patron. Adjustments: instead of your patron's lesson, you gain the Manifest Will, Hex, Cantrip, and your familiar learns one common first-rank spell of your choice from your spell list. I fucking love that! You choose any fucking spell. This is great. Alright, so let's talk about the focus spell, Manifest Will. One action, cantrip, first rank, and of course it levels with you. It has the traits Rare, Aura, Concentrate, Hex, and Witch. Area 10-foot Emanation, saving throw, basic reflex, duration sustained up to 1 minute. You unleash energy from the broken connection to your patron. You are concealed from creatures beyond the edge of the emanation, but can't use that concealment to hide. That's fine. Any creature that begins its turn in the emanation is affected based on your patron's tradition. Okay, so if you are following an arcane tradition, raw energy and magical formulae circulate around you. A creature that begins its turn in the emanation gains weakness 1 to spell damage for 1 round. All of these things level. Most of them, this one does. So that weakness 1 doesn't do a whole lot, but if you hit them with multiple things, it could, or if you have a group of casters, that could really help. Because at first level, lots of little plinks of damage matter. Divine. Divine power crashes in a cycle of life and death. A living or undead creature that begins its turn in the Emanation gains 2 temporary hit points for 1 round. This effect has the spirit trait, so divine is still basically healing. Occult tradition. Esoteric symbology etches the air. An allied creature that begins its turn in the Emanation has lesser cover while inside the Emanation, and for 1 round after it leaves. Obviously useful. Primal tradition. Plants and fungus symbolic of your patron constantly grow and wither in the Emanation. A creature that begins its turn in the Emanation has a minus 10-foot status penalty to all its speeds for 1 round or until it escapes. This effect has the fungus, plant, and wood traits. That's fun. So heightened every rank that this hex increases. An arcane manifestation increases its weakness by 1, and a divine manifestation increases its temporary hit points by 2. This class archetype uses Manifest Will in a few different ways. We'll go over that. But anyway, obviously it's a very flexible hex. And it gets more flexible. Alright, so at 2nd level you get the Seneschal Witch Dedication. It has the rare archetype, class, and dedication traits. I don't think I need to read those again. Prerequisites, Seneschal Witch. As you work to understand the connection with your missing patron, it's increasingly easy to form bonds with those around you. Raw magical energy spills easily through the connection, but without a patron's control, it sometimes resists your demands for it to form proper spells. You gain the Witch's Charge feat, but can't choose your familiar or another creature with the minion trait as a charge. When you cast or sustain Manifest Will, as long as your charge is within 30 feet, you can choose to center the spell's emanation on your charge instead of yourself. Even more flexibility. Getting Witch's Charge at 2nd level instead of 6th is a huge boon, and it sort of changes you into a mystic from Starfinder. Let me read it to you. So it has the traits Detection and Witch. You forge a magical link with another creature, granting you awareness of that creature's condition and creating a conduit for spellcasting. During your daily preparations, you can designate 1 willing creature as your charge. You are always aware of your charge's direction from you, its distance from you, and any conditions affecting it. In addition, you can cast spells with a range of touch on your charge from a range of 30 feet. These effects persist until your next daily preparations. So whether you're trying to be offensive or defensive, this just allows you to get further away from danger. Like I said, at 2nd level, this is neat. Now the Seneschal Witch feats. At 4th level, you get Patron's Glamour. It has the auditory and illusion traits. Gathering up threads of your old connection, you can temporarily disguise yourself as your missing patron. You gain Illusory Disguise as an innate spell of your patron's tradition, automatically heightened to the rank of your witch cantrips, but you can use it only to disguise yourself as the humanoid representation of your patron. Detection spells of lower rank than this Illusory Disguise give your patrons information rather than your own. It's interesting that you are being forced to use this only to imitate the patron that you previously followed. I would really prefer that it be for one specific image or concept that you create yourself as the image of who you are as a patron. Because the rest of this class archetype is all about acting like a patron for yourself and others. And so I think that I would prefer to change that, like unilaterally. I'd probably just say, you make up 1 illusory disguise and you can disguise yourself as that, whatever the hell that is. It doesn't matter if you create yourself as an aspect of nature, like maybe you just look like a talking tree with leaves falling all around, fire at the roots, who knows? It's up to a lot of flexibility. Again, lots of options there. Next feat, level 4, Seneschal Spell. 1 action, spell shape, frequency once per hour. You can channel even complex spells through your connection to your charge. If your next action is to cast a spell and your charge is within 30 feet, you can have the spell originate from your charge instead. That creature can use their reaction to roughly complete the spell's incantation, which gives the spell the subtle trait for you, but not for them, as the manifestation appears solely around your charge. This allows you to keep more out of danger, like I said before. Something funny about this is that because it sort of inspires that charge, that character, enlightens them to finish the casting of your spell for you, it indicates to enemies that that person is a spellcaster. which could be fun if you're like targeting your tank who's wearing full plate and they start chanting in an odd language, or they wave their spear and shield and a magical green ball of light appears in front of them. That's just going to make them attract more attention. So it will help your party survive by making your tank have to tank more. Something I find fun about Seneschal spell is that you can use it on another caster or a hireling. You could hire someone to carry your stuff for you, like Nodwick. Old reference, sorry. You could just have a hireling be your conduit, your charge, and they finish casting a spell that you inspire them to do. They start believing in you as a patron. That's the whole concept behind this. They start essentially giving you faith power, faith energy, and clearly start believing in you. This class archetype is an easy way to start a cult. If you want to go that route. All right, next feat, level 6, multifaceted will. Without the firm hand of a patron, your power begins to reflect deeper complexities, sometimes latching onto entirely unexpected sources of magical potency. When you cast or sustain Manifest Will, your cantrip, your hex cantrip, you can choose any tradition's manifestation. While the spell is active, you and allies in its area gain a +1 status bonus to saves against spells with that tradition trait. Any fucking tradition's manifestation. That means that you can be arcane and like normally throw fireballs and choose divine to help protect someone. This is... Okay, so y'all know I love witches, but a big part of why I love witches is because they're so flexible. If you're willing to use intelligence and you want to play a caster, you can always choose a witch. Because you can flavor a witch as anything. And you can choose any tradition. And you get a familiar for free. And you can go with the traditional like Wicca/witchy feats and abilities, but you don't have to at all. You can flavor your witch as anything. Anyway, so this makes me happy because it's just so much more flexibility, so many more options. All right, next feat. Level 6, Spiritual Secret. It's a free action spell shape, which is nice to have a spell shape that's a free action. Frequency once per hour. I love that these aren't once per day. You can do these so frequently. You gain deeper insights into your patron's abandoned power, allowing you to draw on that power more directly. If your next action is to cast a witch cantrip or a witch spell that deals damage, it deals spirit damage instead of its normal type. It also loses any traits related to its damage, such as the fire or mental trait, and gains the sanctified and spirit traits instead. This is like making you more and more of a holy entity, which I think is why the additional feats that you get for this come from cleric. Because witches have always seemed sort of like holy conduits to me anyway, because you are channeling the energy of an extraplanar entity. It's just flavored a certain way. It's really similar to a cleric. And now this just enhances that theme of pulling divine energy yourself directly to channel into whatever you want. And this sort of makes you holy and divine. It's neat. And of course, spirit damage is probably the best damage type because it's really rarely resisted, but it does really suck to use against some things like animated objects. But it's an option. You don't have to do it, but it's very useful. Level 8 feat. Watcher on the Wall. 2 actions. You claim a patron's symbol that you can etch onto any surface. Etch a symbol onto an adjacent surface. You can see and hear what you could from the symbol's location as long as you are on the same plane. This effect lasts until you place another symbol or the surface is destroyed. It's annoying that you only do 1. But I love this. This is, again, another deific ability. Deities can sense with whatever their divine senses normally could be through holy symbols to them. or symbols or symbology or etchings that represent them. And it gives you a godly power. Granted, it's a little godly power, but it's neat. Obviously, it's good for reconnaissance. I think that I would probably put it on a collar on my familiar, just in case my familiar gets kidnapped or something. Or if it goes into, wow, yeah, stealthing with your familiar. Man, that'd be handy. Anyway, I'd probably etch it on something I care a lot about. Or like my allies' armor, so that I can see even though it's like if I'm not in the thick of battle. This allows you to spread yourself throughout an area. It's like you feel omnipresent with these abilities. It's neat. All right. Additional feat, level 10 feat, Martyr. I will read Martyr. Martyr is normally an 8th level feat, but for the Seneschal, it's 10th. It is a cleric feat. It has the spell shape trait. It's one action. You go to extreme lengths to support your allies, even when it means bringing harm to yourself. If your next action is to cast harm or heal to restore hit points to a single ally, you can channel your own vitality along with the spell. You lose 1d8 hit points per rank of the spell, which can't be reduced or mitigated in any way, and your ally regains an equal number of hit points. This is like increasing the amount of healing that you do, granted only on that spell, by a third. It's awesome for being the sort of like commander. I'm all over the battlefield. I'm helping wherever I need to be. And you can have this emanate from your charge 30 feet away. And if you're using the second level, the 2 action heal, then you have even a further range. And you can still stay way the hell out of combat. This makes you feel like a battlefield commander. It's neat. It's like the commander for casters. All right. Next, level 10 feat, Patron's Whisper. It has the auditory trait. You gain the ability to speak to your charge over great distances. You gain message as an innate cantrip of your former patron's tradition. You can send a message to a creature regardless of range if they have ever been your charge. Ever. You can change that every morning. I would change it every morning just to make sure. There really are strong overtones of the Mystic's abilities here. I wonder if that was part of the inspiration. If you lie as part of the message, the target receives a -2 circumstance penalty to their perception DC and to sense motive checks to reveal the lie. So again, easy to start a cult. Or you could make like different NPCs your charge. Like if you wake up one morning in the inn and you go see the constable in a town, just make them your charge that day. Then you can always talk to the constable in that town. Awesome! This is very... I know, I keep saying flexible, but there's so many uses to this. You can even keep your group connected from throughout a campaign with different towns you've been in. And you don't have to like have the sending spell memorized or prepared. I love this. And you can send a message to a creature regardless of range if they have ever been your charge. It doesn't say that planar boundaries are an issue. So you can communicate to people if you're on the plane of fire and you want to talk to a wizard you used to know back home so they can help get your ass out of the fire. Or you can make friends on different planes and have this huge network, interplanar connections. I got everybody's phone number in my cell. Oh, this is great. Next additional feat is 16th Premonition of Clarity. I shall now discuss Premonition of Clarity. So this says Premonition of Clarity is level 14. For the Seneschal Witch, it's level 16, but it's a cleric feat, so it's cool. Normally, you can't get cleric feats this high, or from any other class, through an archetype. Ever. You just can't. So, it's really, really neat. Premonition of Clarity. It has the Cleric and Fortune trait, frequency once per hour. Trigger, you fail a saving throw against a mental effect. It's a reaction. Your deity sends you a vision of faith to steel you against mental attacks. Reroll the triggering saving throw with a +2 circumstance bonus. You must use the second result, even if it's worse. I don't think this is essential in my games, because I use hero points differently. I basically use hero points at better than mythic value, but I don't hand them out as frequently. My hero points are, you use it, and it's an immediate success on whatever the hell you were trying to do, and whatever you rolled, it's a success now. And so this doesn't really matter for my games. But if you don't play by that, I would say, variant rule, but it's not really an official variant rule, so the Jake variant rule, I don't know, then this could be incredibly essential, because having one of your party members that can cast the most powerful damaging spells go to the bad guy's side is extremely scary. I'm not going to say this is an essential feat, but at some point, you might be fucking grateful you took it. Or just stock up those hero points. And then you don't have to care about the feat. Next additional feats. 18th, Inviolable. This one's fun and weird. Inviolable, level 18 cleric feat. Your deity punishes creatures that harm you. Creatures that hit you with an attack, not a strike, any attack, take 3d6 spirit damage every time they do. There's no save. If you have the holy or unholy trait, you can apply it to this damage. Yes, please. I love this. I mean, it doesn't keep you safe, of course. Nothing really can besides running away from a fight. But it certainly would dissuade creatures from grabbing you or hitting you. And if you get swallowed by something, I know that after you're swallowed, actually it is an attack because they roll their strike damage. I don't know, I think that ruling is iffy, but I would say that it's an attack because you're encased in the creature. They're going to take this holy damage radiating off of you every round. So no matter what else you do, you're hurting people. Yeah, this is cool. Level 20. Last feat. Patron Reborn. You have fully realized the ability to serve as a patron. Your newfound abilities enhance your senses, rolling back the veil of a realm hidden to most mortals, where great beings vie for unimaginable influence over vast worlds. You gain dark vision, constant true sight, and the ability to see into all other transitive planes that overlap the one you are in. I freaking love this. That is a deity level power as well. You can be a patron for other witches. Choose a single type of patron you represent, such as the Resentment or Starless Shadow. An allied witch you can observe who has that patron counts as... Dude. An allied witch you can observe who has that patron counts as and gains the benefits of your witch's charge feat, even if you did not select them as your charge during your daily preparations. I see that as a side benefit, because being able to be aware of everything around you just feels awesome. And of course, you can communicate via message to anyone in your party or anywhere else about what you're experiencing. I am a little disappointed that it has to be a witch that you are a patron to. I wish it could just be like anyone who is willing to declare that you are their patron. Because, I don't know, it's more useful that way. And usually you don't have, like, a party full of witches. Oh my god, but if you did, it doesn't say you can only do this with one witch. An allied witch you can observe who has the patron counts as and gains the benefits of your witch's charge feat. I guess they would all have to serve the same patron. Again, lends toward the gathering a group of witches together. That's neat. This lets you be more like a hag, and that's fun. Yeah, I could see this being the hag party. Man, I am such a fan of this. I guess the only problem would be that you're all casting the same tradition spells. So you probably want to archetype into other spells and get wands and staves of other spells. Otherwise, it's just not all that interesting for you all to cast the same tradition. But you can still go about it different ways. Like, you can have a melee claw witch who happens to be occult and uses their occult spells to buff themselves in combat, and then, like, that person isn't really using occult spells for the party, the coven. Yeah, this is fucking awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad this class archetype exists. All right, so, man, let me know what ideas you have for using Manifest Will on, like, who in your party, because everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different. You might have situations come up or ideas that I wouldn't, because that's not what I've experienced so far. So let me know if you have ideas of how to use the Seneschal in a party. I love the fact that it's a truly networking class archetype. But you're all about connecting with people from all different areas, all different planes, maybe different planets, because there's no limit on range. I really hope they don't errata that, because this is great. Yeah, this is even cool if you go space traveling. Man. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me ramble about something I love so much. Yes, you're a good kitty, even though you don't know it. And if you are a patron, thank you for being here every month and for helping take care of the channel so much. There's hair. I'm not crazy. I swear, there's actually hair in the air. The cat's, not mine. And remember that we're doing the Blood Speckled Dice drawing on October 31st for 3 different subscribers. And we'll also be doing one after that for patrons. The day after is when we're doing the patron drawing for this set. If you would like to catch up on War of Immortals, playlist is going to be here. If you'd like to check on last weird builds I made, check out the builds. I'd probably suggest the Bog Witch, Hagatha, because it totally fits Seneschal. There's so many builds I want to remake now because there's new stuff coming out. It's frustrating. I'll move forward. Let's handle this on a moving forward basis. Let's rule out time travel. All right. Thanks for being here. Okay. I appreciate you. Bye.